And so what would we refer to you as for now?
For now?
Yeah, like what are we going to refer to you as to keep you, whatever that word is?
Unanimous, like a pseudonym?
Unanimous is not the right word. Anonymous.
Unanimous. Everyone agrees.
Okay, so we've started, just so you know, that's funny. So I'm going to start prior to me thinking unanimous was anonymous. So we're kind of going now, just so you know, by default. So anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is episode 64. And now we haven't even decided on the name, or what we're going to call this new producer yet. So we're going to decide on the fly. So what should we call you, mystery female?
Mystery female. I won't be much of a mystery after. Oh, closer. I gotta make love to the mic.
It
here.
turns, yeah. It turns.
This good?
Yeah.
You hear me fine?
I can hear you fine. I don't know about the recording.
You know what? We'll think of a name for me later. I don't have one. All my nicknames are pretty close to my name. You know, there's really no.
What's one of your nicknames?
Oh, okay. My mom used.
That's not close to. What's the one that's furthest away from your name?
My mom used to call me Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Okay. Pumpkin the producer.
Okay, so we'll just call you Pumpkin.
Aww.
Okay.
I don't know why she called me.
Oh, but that's your mom's thing. I don't know if we can call you. That's like.
It's okay.
Is that? It's not too.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna call you Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Okay. So how? Is this your first time ever being recorded?
Yeah.
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 So how does it feel versus, let's say, because I know that you have an occupation and where you do public speaking already.
Yeah.
So how does it feel versus that? And yeah, you can tell what it is or whatever.
A little different because this will be recorded. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't think it sounds great. But it's a little nerve-wracking, especially when I talk to adults. Like I'm talking to adults, like an adult audience, hopefully. if you, no, I would, yeah. So hopefully, if you're an adult, you're listening to this because it's adult content. But
yeah, no kids are allowed. If you're a kid, turn this off.
Yeah, turn it off. Go to bed.
Yeah, we're about to start having sex shortly, so turn this off.
Oh, wow. That's for the Patreon, guys.
Yeah, no, that's why this isn't official employment, because I would have already been lawsuited up from that, right? Isn't that the whole Me Too movement is saying shit like that?
But yeah, a lot different. I can't.
A lot different. You feel, are you, because yeah, I guess, because with kids, you just kind of control everything. And they just, whereas with this, yeah, and isn't it just weird though with this? Because it's like, it feels like it should just be a conversation, but then it isn't, because it's recorded and then it's going to be presented as this is you, this is how interesting you are.
Yeah. And
then later on you can listen to it and be like, God damn it, I'm never going to microphone myself again. Like think you're so boring, think you're so lame.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know how it feels. That's how I feel all the time about my podcasts. Yeah.
Aw, but your podcasts aren't boring. I watched them before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
You're funny.
Yeah. That's good. So, I have something on my list here for if I was to ever have gotten you on to the podcast.
Okay.
Which we have the privilege of today. I have the story. It says, story from Dairy Queen.
You want to talk about my Dairy Queen?
I wanted to maybe hear a little bit of your Dairy Queen story on the show, as much as you can. By obviously leave out names and anything that would be specific, and tell me about what happened in Dairy Queen.
Oh my god!
Because I forget this, but I put it on the list. So clearly you've told me this story before, but I want to hear it. Okay,
so back in my hometown, there was like a little Dairy Queen, basically right across the street from the mall. It's not there anymore, but you can kind of see like this. It's the same building. I think it's like a denture place now, ironically, because wild time. Oh my boss was insane.
So you worked at this place?
Yeah. So you have me, innocent, high school, right? Cute as a button.
You just said your name, you Gomer. That's okay. No, that's okay. You wouldn't believe how many times I've done that.
Do you want me to start over?
I will, no, don't start over. I will, you know what? Actually,
Yeah, we can start over. 'Cause
Actually,
I said a lot of ums. In
actually, start the story over. Yeah.
Okay, ask me about Dairy Queen.
Okay, so your hometown, Dairy Queen.
Yeah, so it's not there anymore. It's occupied by like a denture place, but you can still see like the old Dairy Queen building. They didn't make a lot of changes. So imagine sweet innocent me, right? Cute as a button, blonde ass hair. Oh, I was cute. I don't know what happened. But anyway, just going in there. Oh, and the, just oodles of characters. There was like a cook who was really like older, but you know, he kind of like fit in with us boppy teens. And then you had this beauty queen, right? I'll call her C for now. C was like, I wanted.
So there was beautiful girl. There was you.
There was me. There was a guy I was dating. There was a guy who wanted to date me.
Okay, so all the guys wanted you.
I suppose. Oh, I'll never forget. I was working a shift with my friend, and this guy comes over to the counter, and he says, I'd like your number. And I straight up told him, why?
You said why? I want your number?
Yes. Just
what did he say in return to that?
I don't think he wanted my number anymore.
Because I like your boobs.
Yeah, well, you can't see. Oh my, and the nasty comments. Because like when you made blizzards, right, you would get the ice cream all over the front of your shirt. You know? And I had boobs back then. So a lot of guys who thought they were funny
would make comments about that?
Yeah, they were like, there's some white splatter on your shirt. And I'm like, ugh, gross. Like, move on.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I'll try to keep this really short because there's like a lot of stories. My boss was an absolute creeper. I was the only employee who could get there by like 10 because everyone's high school and drinking, I suppose, or partying. So I was a nerd, so I could be there by 10. And he would show me pictures of his wife, buck-ass naked. Like, I knew what she looked like without clothes on. And then get this. So I'm 17 years old. Granted, I didn't know what porn was, but I've never seen what a cream pie was until he showed me a picture of his wife. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? I was like,
a cream pie. You know that I didn't know what a cream pie was for real until I was probably in my 20s.
Yeah.
Because it's just lingo at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
We had a pumpkin cream pie blizzard, which doesn't...
Yeah. Blech. That's you now. You're the pumpkin cream pie podcast producer.
Oh my.
Oh, the PCPPP.
Also, if you hadn't had a pumpkin pie blizzard, please go get one. If you're a white girl with Uggs, you need to.
Yeah.
That loves ice cream.
Yeah.
Please.
So was that the end of the story? So the dude just showed you naked pics of his wife, crazy. That's the end, right?
Yeah, and there's more to follow, but that's probably the craziest.
Yeah, it says on here. Yeah, it says story Dairy Queen wife's vagina.
Yeah, because who does that? Like, no.
Oh,
no,
man.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a topic I kind of wanted to bring up. It's kind of insane. Okay. There is a new podcast in Saskatoon here called Fireside with Lyndon. And I want to be frank that I understand that I don't have the fire by me in the pod anymore.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit upset. And it's being put on by the Reme Art Gallery.
Yeah.
And they started a podcast where they've got this native dude, and he talks. I'm not certain that he's even in front of a fire because I haven't seen any of the episodes, but I just saw a promo for the pod.
Doesn't he sit in front of the? Because in the Reme, when you walk in, there's the Nick Cave installation above you, and then there's that
I've never been there.
Electric. You've never been?
No. So there's some fire in there? Electric fire?
You have to take me to the Reme. It's my favorite place.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, but anyway, they've got this new podcast, and oh man, I was a little bit upset when I saw it.
Is it bad?
Well, no, it just upset me that. Well, I mean, I guess I understand that the museum would want to have a pod.
Yeah.
That's just diversify, absolutely, but why copy my idea? Why not get a person who's on episode 70? Why not get me instead of bringing in some other guy? And I'm not going to say I've watched any episodes, but from watching the promo, and he's talking to old people. Mm-hmm. They're talking, so it's meant to be an Indigenous podcast, and they're talking to like elders. Mm-hmm. Do you think that that's going to work long form? They're going to fall asleep.
Oh,
how the hell are they going to stay entertaining for that period of time? You know, as much as I think that old people are super entertaining.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a little bit worried about the longevity of that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
is he like specifically? I'd have to really look into this. Is he specifically interview elders? Like.
I don't know for sure. No, but I believe that it's Indigenous culture stuff. Yeah. So he only interviews people from the Indigenous community, and they promote their stuff, and that's what it is. Oh. But I mean, at the end of the day, I guess sort of. You know, if I was to take a step back in a way, they probably own the fire more than I do, though. I mean, in terms of branding, and like just what I am, I hate to talk about branding and sound like a pretentious asshole. Get inside the baseball a little bit, but like in terms of branding, if I'm who's going to use the fire, I have to actually now take a step back and realize that maybe he might have a little bit more rights over the fire than I do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. With the Indigenous culture thing, because fire's their thing, sorta, more so than, or is fire everybody's thing? Can we all claim fire as our culture?
Yeah, I mean
that was what was that? Speak up.
Yes.
Yes? You think yes? Okay.
Get a little
I kind of think
quiet.
Just one of your, and your, None of that. That's not producer shit. Getting mad at my producer on episode 1. But you know what, though? I think that shit is good. We both seen Your Mom's House. Mm-hmm. We both seen what Tom does. And that shit gets views.
Yeah.
Don't you agree? And it is kind of funny.
I'll be your Nadav.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Yes.
Will you wear
Pumpkin is Googling, looking for shit.
Will you wear things? You know what would be...
Do you have your phone on you?
No, not on me, no.
Okay, so you can't do any Googling?
No.
That's all right.
Failure number.
Fired.
See,
You're fired.
I'm already Nadavin. And it's my first day.
So, yeah. What else? So, the other day, I've been using food ordering services probably way too much.
Yeah.
Especially Uber. And the other day, like, I don't know, I've just been too lazy to cook. And like they get these buy one get ones where it's like I'm paying $8 a meal. If I'm going to be buying groceries, that means that essentially the markup is like $2 to $4. If I'm buying a meal for $8, hot and ready, and I'm paying $8 for it, if I was to get that from the grocery store and cook it, it would cost me $4 or $5, and then I'd have to cook it probably for those. So you're telling me that I only have to pay $3 or $4 extra, and then the meal will come ready made? Like, it's hard for me to even find the energy to cook when it only costs me $4 to get somebody else to cook it and deliver it for me. Yeah. You know?
Well, especially the time and energy to get groceries.
The time and energy to get groceries.
Yeah.
And the time and energy to cook.
I used to have, like, little AirPods when I would go grocery shopping. Because, as you know, when I go places by myself, I'm, like, kind of like a leave me alone, fuck off type of person.
Okay.
So, like, but that's the only thing that kept me going. So now when I go to the grocery store, I'm like zombie shopper.
Yeah.
And it's so expensive.
What do you mean by zombie shopper?
Like,
because you don't wear the AirPods anymore?
No. I got them stolen at the gym. Oh, and they were so cute. They were pink.
God. How long ago was that? Me and you have both been getting stolen from. I got my drone stolen. If anybody has been wondering where the Canadian Talk drone is and why I haven't been doing any shots like that, like I said, it got stolen. But we're pretty well funded right now, so we may buy another drone. We got a Canadian Talk bow. By the way, this is the bow. Let me just give it a quick show here.
Show the bow.
We brought it in. So we got the Bear Species 2 bow. It has a 5-arrow quiver. It's got a 4-pin sight. It's got the brush little arrow holder here. I'm not sure what these are called. This is a. It can be dialed anywhere between, I believe, 20 or 30 and up to 70 pounds of pressure. It's got a level on the scope too, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, so that's my bow that I bought to defend the studio and defend the honor of this country. Who are we defending it from?
I don't want to say the first thing.
You say first. Oh. I guess the way we're supposed to be viewing North America is that this country is a gift to all of us. Yeah. And it's multicultural and it doesn't belong to anybody. Right? That's the sitch?
Yeah.
Is that the sitch? Is that what they're teaching in mainstream education or for the youngins or?
That it's multicultural and it's for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay. That was not very convincing, but all right. I mean, if I had to defend this country from somebody using that bow, I would probably shoot. The first person who I would shoot with that bow would be. No, I've got so many names going through my head. Sorry, my first person I would choose to shoot with that bow would probably be Christy Freeland. Oh. I'm sorry to say that. I know that that's horrible and illegal to say and all that kind of shit. But man, I really do not like our finance minister. Do you know that lady? She really upsets me sometimes. You ever seen much of her? Any of her interviews or anything? Oh man.
Is she like a horrible speaker?
She just gerrymanders. No, she's an amazing speaker. That's the problem.
Okay. Oh.
And that's the problem. Is like, you could ask her. She doesn't answer questions ever. Oh. You know. It just bothers me. I get that that's what politics is. I get that that's what her job is, but oh man, does it frustrate me a little bit. You know, isn't that the opposite of accountability? Because like that's what we want is accountability. Mm-hmm. Great. We have these committees who have the ability to do one thing, which is ask questions. And then we have these people who have the ability to do one thing, which is not answer questions. So we have nothing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that sucks. And she's a part of finances.
She is the minister, the deputy. I'm not sure if deputy is right. She's the prime minister of finance. Like she's our head minister of finance for this country, and she's Ukrainian. She's the one who not she's not in charge of it or anything, but all that money that we gave to Ukraine, like she was involved in that. And I mean, should we though? We're not going to get too political here.
Okay.
We're not. This is not a Russia-Ukraine pod here today. But, like, should we be giving money to Ukraine? Like, I just wonder if... Oh, you bugger. Just a second, folks. My cat is going to chew on the string on my bow, and I can't let that happen. Oh, now she's pretending like she's not going to. No, she found some arrowheads now to chew on. This is the mascot, folks. Actually, let me just give her a quick second. Oh, now you're going to run away? We got Tibaltuous here. We haven't seen her since she came in during Sanvi's episode, which was like episode 51. That was more than 12 episodes ago that we last showed Tybalt. She's got a little cut on her head because she likes to bonk into things. Uh-huh. But yeah, this is the mascot of the podcast, a little gray Sphinx cat. And we got her yip tag. If anybody out there, if you have animals that you're afraid to lose, get yourself one of these yip tags. It's essentially a little GPS it's a little big for a small cat like this, but it allows you to not lose your pet. Not lose your pet, which is pretty good. She's distracting me. Are you able to hold her for a little bit?
Yep. Hold her for 2 seconds.
Forget it. Just forget it. So... what were we talking about? We were talking about Christy Freeland. We were talking about who I'd kill with my bow. But what were we talking about beyond Christy there? We were talking about how... Do you remember or no?
Okay, so one more thing about Christy. So you said that she doesn't take like accountability for anything.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's kind of like showing up to my parents. Like so, in my university days, they'd be like, "Where do you?"
Be careful what names you say. I'm just gonna get ahead of your story and just let you know.
Okay.
You're now talking about your parents.
Yeah.
Be careful. Don't say their names.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it would be like me coming home from university, and then my parents are like, "Oh, like how are you doing? Like, with your money?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know where it
Yeah.
went."
Well, it's like you going, "Oh yeah, the money, thank you. It's done me such great help.
Yeah.
You two, you two as parents, you just are such wonderful parents. Every dollar of that money has gone to such good use.
Yeah.
I am so much happier because of every one of those dollars." And they would go, "Okay, how much do you have left?" What's left isn't necessarily what's important. What's important is how I feel, and like that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
And God, it is a problem.
All right.
So
Who else?
yeah. So what else? Let me open up my list here. So what else is going on in the world? We got Donald Trump going crazy, doing all kinds of speeches because, because of all his lawsuits. So he's kind of trying to counter that with counter media, because they're trying to sue him for documents. They're trying to sue him for sexual abuse and all this kind of crazy stuff. And it's sort of sticking. I mean, what do you think about that type of behavior? I mean, this is not whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump. Nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. To do with presidents and how so clearly we're 1 year away from this election for the United States, and they're just clearly like putting these strange charges. You yawning?
No.
If you're yawning, and you yawn during a podcast, you got to chug your beer. So they're just for a half yawn. Take a sip. That's fair. So they're just throwing all these weird charges and don't you think that's like, is that allowable? Can the media get involved in that type of slanders type stuff back and forth? Or should we draw a line somewhere because I feel like it does damage to the legal system and it does damage to the credibility of the media, because to pretend that Donald Trump going to a furniture store and buying a lady fancy couches and shit, and then they end up in the change room having sex, to pretend that that's sexual abuse, or to pretend that him having documents is a problem, when there's the NARA, the National Archives Association or whatever, that handles these laws. None of it is criminal, so who cares? Number one. Number two would be, there is in the thing, and he talks about this, and this is real, that as soon as the president, he was the president as much as people like to pretend he wasn't. As soon as the president takes documents away, like, I'm taking this, I need it for my personal archives. Yeah. Any classified document immediately becomes declassified. All they have to do is it has to be photographed. These are the requirements by NARA. Mm-hmm. It has to be photographed, and then you take it out, and that's good. He did those things, but they're still pretending that they're going to indict him over having these documents. So it just bothers me. That bothers me. Dang it. I should have offloaded that topic quicker because I had something else that was better. Fuck. See, I hate when this happens. And this is why I podcast, to try to make this not happen. So I wanted to get off of Trump. Oh, I lost it. Yeah. What is it, Pumpkin? Bring me back. Tell me something interesting to talk about.
Interesting to talk about.
Thank you, Great Western, for the lager. It's been a good addition to your beers. We hope one day that you will back pay us for the sponsorship of this podcast, with us mentioning it. You've been mentioned since like episode 5. Every episode. So you're welcome. Yeah. That's the sponsor. That's the unofficial sponsor of this podcast, is Great Western. And yeah, we love your new beer. So
I no longer drink anything else at this point.
Okay, so there's our first pumpkin fucking pun.
Pumpkin puns.
Pumpkin pun.
Coming at you. Orange Juglad.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just get back to it, and maybe it'll pop back into my head what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, Donald Trump and all his indictments, and yeah, and you know what? Let's talk about this for a second. Just now that I'm finally past, I want to look into the past and the fact that I've gotten Ben Bankus on this podcast. I cannot believe it. So you watched the episode, I'm sure.
I did. Yeah.
But lots of people out there watched the episode. It got hundreds of views on YouTube for the video. It got thousands of views up for just the audio. It was huge. And I wanted to thank all of you guys for listening to that. But man, I couldn't believe that we had the chance to get that guy on here. I believe that he could be the next Jim Carrey if he loses some weight. You know, he needs to lose some weight. Hopefully, not lose some hair, because his hair is doing all right. But to be a big star, you can't lose those things. So, but I think he's really funny. I think he has the chance to do that. I'm so excited to see his next special.
Yeah. I watched his stand-up special, and it's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I didn't think Ben wasn't funny, but I'm slowly immersing myself in the comedy world.
For sure. And that's awesome, yeah.
None of my friends liked it. None of my friends like comedy. I would show them like Ali Wong and Tom Segura, and then they wouldn't care.
I don't know. Some people like it, some people don't, you know?
Yeah. It's
kind of like music, you know? If somebody had to ask me why I don't love music, I wouldn't really have an answer. Yeah. It's just not my thing. I don't like how it's repetitive.
Yeah.
And podcasts aren't.
No.
Yeah. So, bring us back. Now I lost it again. So Ben. Yeah, and then his sidekick there. Armin. Armin R. Bobby. Or Armin R. Bozzy, as I called him on the podcast.
Yeah, you guys joked around about how you mispronounced
Yeah.
your name.
Oh, man, I can't believe I mispronounced his name, but, oh, geez, that was funny. He was so funny. They were so good. Their shows were good that they did when they came to the city. When I brought them here to the studio, they were so thankful for the rides. They were so thankful for the food spread and all the cigarettes and the beers and stuff. They were just class acts.
Yeah.
So glad I was able to get them on. What a 1 in a million chance to have him passing through, and just to get him here and have him respect the show enough to come on. That was huge for us, and I'm so thankful for that. So
that's such a good time for you too.
Yeah, such a good time.
You had such a blast at Yuck Yucks. You were just
on
a high.
Oh, I was on a high. What an amazing time, and we are so lucky to have gotten him on the show. Do you mind? What time are we looking at?
31. So about half hour.
31. Okay, so we got about 10 minutes left, and that'll be an episode. So let's see what else we got here. I mean, just remind you guys, we got a new show coming on July 1st. It's called Fire Facts, and basically I'm in the studio number 2 over here with the fire and with the fax machine, and I get real faxes and I read them off, and they're usually something pretty crazy. Stuff that is quite funny, in my opinion, that comes from the soul of Canada. That's where it's coming from. These are fire facts. They're coming from the fire. And so we'll see what that has to hold. So yeah, tune into that on the page. It'll be on all the pages, on all the social medias, starting July 1st. 1 new joke per day. And if you haven't already seen the promo, it's got 10,000 views on social media. Pretty amazing. It's still climbing by 1,000 a day too. So frick, who knows if it's going to reach 20 or 100,000 views? Who knows? And so yeah, go watch the promo on the page if you haven't already seen that. There is a few of the jokes on there. There's 3 of the Fire Facts style jokes in the promo. So if you're wondering what's going to be coming out every day, go check that out. So yeah. What else do we got here? The Vegas Golden Knights. I almost said it because London also has a team called the Golden Knights.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup this year.
They beat the Oilers, yeah.
Yeah. Did you say the Oilers? Oh, yeah, they beat them way early on. Yeah, that's your team, right?
It is, yeah. Whenever Do
you have a favorite? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, whenever I go into a classroom, kids are like, well, do you like sports? And I'm like, I like to watch hockey. And then they're like, what's your favorite team? And I always warn them. I'm like, I'm warning you. They're not great, but they're not bad. And then they're like, what is it? And I'm like, the Oilers. And then they're like, no.
Yeah.
I have
that story that I told to those Danish people, I told them I was on the Oilers.
Oh, really?
That lie that I told in that hostel. Do you know who Jordan Eberle is?
No. Should I?
You don't know? Oh, he was on the Oilers. Do you know who Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is?
Yes.
RNH. I played against him at the Max tournament in Calgary.
Really?
When me and him are the same age,
Yeah.
and when I was in AAA, I played against him, and he's on the Oilers. But yeah, my old buddy Chandler has another Stanley Cup in his under his belt.
Wow,
This year it wasn't quite as extravagant as the other years, where he got freaking hat tricks in the winning game.
Holy.
But another Stanley Cup under his belt. So Chandler, congratulations on that. Pretty proud to say that I've known that guy, and got to play with him for 2 years, and played on his line for quite a while. Pretty amazing to see him out there. I always knew that he was a special player.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this before on like episode 18, back when he won his first cup with Nashville or whoever. When I used to play with him, he used to just be, he's smaller than me. Hey, he's a little bit shorter than me. But the way he would play out there was just incredible. He was so fast and so strong, and like just the way he would grip the stick. Like, I've never seen hands like that in my life. Oh, it's incredible.
Neither have the ladies, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he's married. Let's figure out if he's married. Chandler, I'm sorry I don't know this about you, buddy.
I'm gonna go yeah, or at least looking intently.
Let's see if he's married. Yeah. Oh, he has a wife to be, apparently.
Oh,
Tasha.
You know how exciting that is? Oh my goodness, she must
Pretty
just
cool.
be over the moon.
Her last name is Maltman. I wonder if she's related to that other guy who's the realtor, Maltman. That's how you become famous and become like a successful realtor, is having some sort of a connection like that. Yeah, my sister, she's marrying an NHL player. You like to buy this house?
Just clout, hey.
Just pure clout.
Oh, she's probably just gonna have like the wedding of her dreams.
Oh, you can imagine.
Holy shit.
He's got. They're going to be very well off. I know their family was well off to begin with. Yeah. So that's all I got on my list for today. So let's think of one final thing. We gotta put a cherry on this. You always gotta put a cherry on top on an episode.
Yeah.
Let's have a big sip of our drinks here. Let's see what comes to mind for our Canadian Talk thoughts. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 64.
Thank you for having me on, by the way.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a part of the community, part of the family. You are the second producer we've ever had. So. Well, no, I guess third if you consider. Yeah, third. So we'll see. So let me ask you, what do you think about violence against women?
Oh, okay, getting right into it.
Yeah, what do you think about violence against women? So like, have you seen the video of Dana White and the wife?
No.
You haven't.
Is that the football player? Am I totally off?
Dana White is the president of the UFC.
Oh,
Bald
is he?
guy.
Okay.
Did you see the video of him hitting his wife in that bar?
No.
No?
Why, what do you
Okay. Why don't you just quickly... Well, how about let's use our words, because this is a podcast.
Okay.
So they're in a bar, and Dana White's wife punches him in the face. So a bunch of people are on, pretty busy.
Yikes.
Dana White's wife punches him in the face, okay, with a right, and the camera's over here. So with a right, it comes and hits him here, and he then grabs her and throws 2 slaps like this at her as she retreats.
Oh no.
What do you think about that?
Well, first, what on earth were they fighting about?
No doubt. Hey, what an electric relationship.
Yeah, oh my
Passionate.
God. Oh, I wonder if they just have the wildest sex. Oh my. Like they're probably
Clip
animals. Animals.
Yes, you got yourself your first clip. That's going on for sure.
Okay.
That's funny. That's funny.
But anyway.
Anyway, what do you think about that? I hear Tybalt. Let me just check on her. Is there a plate or something that she could be? we're all good. It sounded like our little mascot there was licking a plate, but I think we're all right. Sorry. Please continue.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in public
Wild.
too.
In
Holy
public,
smokes.
a billionaire basically just
Wow.
smacking his wife. But I mean, she hit him first. But like, control yourself.
Yeah, I mean, no, like, I'm assuming that they're not even in the same, like.
He's huge. She's.
Yeah, don't.
You can't.
I'm not saying like.
He swung at her. Why would
Yeah.
he have done that? Why would he do that? More than once. More than once.
Yeah. Well, when people see red, they see red.
I know, yeah.
Because I'm assuming both of them are pretty enraged if they're doing this out in public, in a bar. And, you know, he is a recognizable person. You know, she probably is recognized through him. So I'm sure that was a Are they still together? Are they divorced?
Good question. Good question. See, you should be doing this. Let's switch chairs.
No.
Holy shit. No, I know.
I don't have. I have a face for radio.
Yeah. Did Dana White's wife
Stephan agrees.
divorce him?
Must stay
You have the
behind
face for
camera.
radio, but your teeth just need a little work for video.
Ouch. Ow. Oh.
Get those
Need some
Invisaligns.
aloe lotion for that burn.
Get some Invisaligns rolling. Hey, I had braces. My teeth are not good for video either.
No.
Having bad teeth sometimes I think is a blessing. Like having bad things that you can fix. Like sometimes in the modern day. Sorry, I'm gonna glaze past that. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
Now.
You're okay?
Yeah. I'm good.
In the modern day, like, you know, I feel like being really hairy is like a good thing. Because then you can get laser hair removal wherever you need it.
Yeah.
And have hair wherever you need it.
Yeah.
And then just shape it out. You know?
There's some poor unfortunate souls that have the reverse of that, though. They're with the back hair and no hair on their head.
True, yeah. Yeah, balding for men still hasn't been, like, fully solved yet, has it?
No.
Not really.
Although I will say there's some absolute stud muffins out there with a bald head and a nice beard.
Yeah.
Ladies
You're
to
not
you.
necessarily ugly if you're bald, guys. Like,
No.
yeah, totally. Totally. I'm with you on that one. So this first thing that came up here, Sports Manor. Is Dana White going through a divorce after the slap incident? He says, her and I have been... I'm going to go right to this because this is kind of funny. I hope it brings me to the same quote. No, it didn't. Let me go backwards. It says, her and I have been through some shit, but we're still together, he states, implying that the couple is working on rekindling.
Rekindling. Oh, I bet you they had some wild makeup sex after
There we
that,
go.
if every-
Yeah, I can imagine.
Assuming everyone's okay, right?
Oh.
I have not seen the video. I can't. Yikes.
He didn't clock her or anything. He kind of missed her. She like put her hand up, and I don't even think it connected really. It just hit her arm, sort of thing. And I'm just telling you what the video was showing.
Yeah.
I'm not justifying anything.
No. I'm just.
I'm not saying hitting women is okay. I'm not saying Dana White is okay either. I don't support him. He is me dialed to a 10 kind of thing. Like he is. I like masculinity, but he is a bit much. A bit much.
Oh.
You know, in terms of he likes everything I like, but just a bit much.
Yeah.
Gambling. Do you know the stories about him and his gambling? This is just going to be a
gambles.
whole day. I'm going to have to name this episode Dana White, not girlfriends. We're not even talking about girlfriends. He is a hardcore gambler. He has lost as much as $6 million in one night playing roulette.
Wow.
But apparently he's won as much as $12 million. But
Oh.
so, I mean, those are good numbers, but
That's probably equivalent to me buying a coffee at Tim Hortons and it tastes
To
like
him.
shit. Yeah.
Precisely.
It's
And
like, I wasted money on this.
$1 million to him is nothing. For
$2 for me.
hold on. Host of the Nelk Boys podcast. For Kyle Forgeard's birthday, the host of the Nelk Boys, he gave him $350K cash.
Oh wow.
That's how rich Dana White is. Like, he gave it to him because Kyle like promotes UFC a lot, and it was sort of like sponsorship in a way type thing, partnership. But
Yeah.
gave him $350K for his birthday, him personally, and then probably gave him a bunch of other money through some sort of contractual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, podcasts are bopping out there, getting popular. Though, Nelk Boys is these guys are Canadian, so it does. Almost wish that they were American, even though now they live in LA and they made their careers on YouTube and in podcasting in LA. So can we really consider them Canadian boys? Not really, because they're not doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I am a little bit jealous that they kind of are. They are holding the torch now as like the Canadian podcast, because even though we are puny, we are technically the only real Canadian podcast right now that does comedy all across. There's Ben.
Yeah.
There is there's Ben. There is there's nobody else who stays in Canada. Honestly, I can't think of any other ones right now. There's Jared Nathan. He's in Toronto as well, and he's Ben's friend, and he's on Kill Tony. There just isn't any real pure comedy podcasts coming from Canada right now. Jim Carrey doesn't have one. None of the Canadian comedians have them. Ryan Long is Canadian.
Yeah.
He has a podcast called it's called like the Boys Cast. It's called the Boys Cast. That's Ryan Long, and he's kind of Canadian, but he also lives in America. He lives in America too, and he's a fucking
part-time Canadian.
He's like also. Sorry, Ryan Long, but you're kind of like a sissy boy. Even though you act real tough and stuff, but like, he's just sort of like, he's not really what Canada is. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that sissy boy can be a Canadian, but just like, oh, we got people coming into the area here. With calling Ryan Long a sissy boy, I think we'll end this episode of Canadian Talk. That's Canadian Talk episode 64 out. Thank you all for tuning in. Goodbye. Say an outro.
An outro. Bye. Bye. Pumpkin out.
Thanks for listening, and any questions or concerns for the show, as well as voice recordings and voice messages that you'd like us to listen to, or advertisement inquiries, please forward those along to CanadianTalkWithStephan@gmail.com. Thanks. We also have a website, Stephanjackson.ca, where you can find a back catalog of all our episodes, and we're also on YouTube, where you can find the video versions.